Hi everyone, I'm Dom Griffin. I'm a film critic and you're watching the Armchair Auteur. This is an ongoing video series I do where we talk about new movies, old movies, screenplay analysis, television series reviews, that sort of thing. So if you like movies and you like movie adjacent popular culture and you like to see somebody pick those things apart, you're in the right place. You should consider subscribing. Today I'm reviewing Free Guy, the new Ryan Reynolds movie I am absolutely positive you have seen some very, very aggressive marketing for. Free Guy is one of the first Fox movies from since the Disney acquisition to see the light of day under the new 20th Century Studios banner, and based solely on marketing alone, I was not remotely looking forward to seeing it. I've said before on the channel that I think Ryan Reynolds is very talented, but that his specific shtick is tiresome to me, and I long for the days where he taps into more of his range and less of him just doing Ryan Reynolds things. Free Guy on the surface looks like the opposite of that. The film follows Reynolds as Guy, a boring but upbeat bank teller who is unaware he is an NPC in an online open-world video game. The film is both a story about Guy gaining sentience as well as an exploration of the commodification of art, as the film also follows the video game designers whose more esoteric original game has been stolen and turned into this MMO rip of Grand Theft Auto. So there's a subplot about Jodie Comer and Joe Keery trying to salvage the engine from their original creation while fighting it out with the rich nut job played by Taika Waititi who ripped them off, that moves through Guy's quest to break his routine and live what semblance of a life he has to the fullest. In my video for the Suicide Squad, I talked about how there were two other movies I watched the day that I watched the Suicide Squad that made me cry, and that the Suicide Squad was not one of them. One of those movies is Swan Song, the new Udo Kier movie I reviewed for Looper.com. There's a link to that in the description below. That movie was very sweet and touching and had a line near the end of the movie that made me burst into tears because it's kind of how I am. But the other movie that made me cry, and actually made me cry more than that movie, is this movie. It's Free Guy. I cried during Free Guy like twice. And we'll get to why I cried in a minute. But first, I just want to talk about how this movie really pleasantly surprised me. Like, yes, the movie's marketing paints a picture that feels cloying to a fault, a little too cutesy in a sort of Ready Player One vein, but in execution, the world director Shawn Levy has built here has a lot more personality and heart than I anticipated. The central premise of the video game character having to wrestle with his place in the machine is interesting, and they definitely mine it for maximum comedic effect. But I wasn't prepared for the deeper themes about the push and pull between authenticity and commerce. It genuinely has shades of They Live in the way it takes the glasses off of the world, or in this case, puts them on. Ford v Ferrari in the way it feels like the director articulating his personal feelings about the current state of the movie industry. And weirdly enough, The Last Action Hero, a messy but underrated film from, among 30 or so other credited scribes, Zak Penn, who helped write Free Guy as well. Free Guy is easily the best thing Penn has penned since that unsung classic, and it's the first thing he's been involved with that has led me to believe maybe that movie wasn't a fluke. Now, the movie isn't a complete winner. Sure, it's mostly funny, and Levy is a lot better at directing action than I thought he would be. The final act runs a little longer than I would have liked. Taika is a lot better in this than I thought he would be, but even with that, a lot of the humor in the movie kind of is just a bit much. And most distressingly, so much of what makes the movie unique is the themes and the way it deals with the idea of how corporate interests and the necessity for creating money ends up getting in the way of art and genuine expression and moving the world forward. Like, those are things that are very, very, very present in this movie and are also, I think, important to the world we currently live in. But those themes are undercut pretty severely by the fact that the third act features a ton of weird tie-in references to both Avengers and Star Wars, in case you forgot that this was once a Fox production that is now decidedly a Disney joint.
Korg, who was not my first choice, but apparently everyone else was too busy over on Disney+.
And to be honest, Ryan Reynolds' shtick is still very grating. I still sort of feel the very typical performances he gives when he's asked to display a version of himself are boring and irritating and tiresome. However, a lot of what makes this movie work is his performance, because obviously in the trailer you do see a lot of moments that are typical Ryan Reynolds things, but what makes the movie good are all the scenes that are not like that, where he is sort of playing like this reversion of the Born Sexy Yesterday trope. Like, he's like this nice enough man-child kind of acclimating to the world around him, but he's like still technically only a few months old, and as a result there's like some kind of weirdness about the central love interest he develops and things like that. But overall, like, it's a really touching story. But it's touching because Ryan Reynolds is capable of tapping into the more, you know, sincere elements of his on-screen persona, and through that he's able to tap into moments that have sort of a real heart to them and like a real warmth that I did not anticipate in a movie where he plays a guy in a video game. I just figured this would be really irritating and that's just what it was going to be, but it was something else. Because at the core, it's a movie about a guy who's stuck in like a loop, who just does the same thing every day, never questions it, is just a cog in the machine, and then comes to realize that there's more to life than that. And he's only able to find out about it when he moves outside of the role that's been given to him. Obviously, this isn't like a new thing in movies. Like tons of movies do stuff that is similar to this. Like it's not groundbreaking necessarily, but it really hit me pretty hard, particularly in like the late second act. There's just a lot of really cool moments involving Ryan Reynolds and his friend played by Lil Rel Howery. I know people in the comments of my past videos have talked about they don't like Lil Rel. I love Lil Rel. I like him in pretty much everything. I just think he's a charming guy. But the relationship between Reynolds and Lil Rel is really sweet, and it's like one of the better on-screen male friendships I've seen in movies in recent years. I was really into it. But what I loved is that some of the best stuff in the movie is not about like the crazy video game stuff going on in the background, and it's not about the like corporate espionage plot about the video game company. The best stuff in Free Guy is about this guy who gets up every day and does exactly the same thing over and over again and discovers that there's more to life than the rat race. And it's about like this big change that he undergoes and the feelings he develops very quickly about the world around him. And I have been running this YouTube channel for a little over 2 years, but primarily much of the content I put out that have made many of the people watching this currently get into it came during the pandemic. Like during the pandemic, I run a movie theater. It's my daytime job. It closed down because of COVID, and I was home and I didn't have anything to do and I was losing my mind, and I started making videos again, and it has been one of the most important things to me in life. Like I love making these videos. I love this channel. I love the fact that people watch it, and I'm only able to even do this the way I've been doing it for so long because I wasn't working my day job, because I wasn't in that perpetual capitalist hamster wheel doing the same stuff every day. Like I could kind of, you know, make my own hours and work on videos when I wanted to, which was basically all the time. And over the last couple of weeks, and when I saw Free Guy, I've been back to work. And it has been a bit of a shock, obviously. Like I'm happy to be working. I desperately needed to be working again, so it's a good thing. It's a net good. But it just reminded me about how many people like do not have the time or the effort or the energy to do the things they really want to do in life because they got to pay the bills, they got to make things happen, they got to go to work. And watching this fictional video game character get up and go to his bank job every day where players come in and rob him and stuff like every single day and he just doesn't even question it, it just really got to me. Like I just realized like, man, like we all just do that. Like we're not NPCs in a video game, and like it's not, I don't think we're in a simulation, but there's something about that cycle that is very distressing. It's very, very sad. And much of the way the third act of the movie goes delves into this idea of like sort of like utopia and exploring yourself and all this different stuff. And, you know, again, it's like a big budget summer blockbuster movie. It's not like the deepest of delivery systems, but something about the way it was executed, the way that Ryan Reynolds plays the central character, the way some of the better moments between the characters unfold, it really got me. Like in movies like this don't really get me very much anymore. It's not super often. I mean, you guys watch this channel, a lot of times I'm just like, that was fine, that was pretty good, I don't know. Or I'm confused or I'm angry, but very rarely do I feel super touched. And lately, I guess I've been more touched. I don't know if that's just like a moon thing, or is it like an astrology thing, I don't know. But I was pleasantly surprised by this movie. I thought that it actually had a lot of heart, and like genuine heart, not like snarky, blah, blah, blah. Like there's a lot of goofy fan service bullshit, a lot of celebrity cameos, a lot of just like talking headshots of like Twitch streamers or whatever, like a lot of that type of crap, sure. But underneath it all, there's a really sweet movie here, and like it's pleasant. It's a very pleasant, like I don't want to say it's great or it's like unmissable or you have to see Free Guy. Like if you don't see Free Guy, you'll be fine. But it's a movie that's aimed at people to be like a fun kind of like romp thing, and it actually is that, and it has more than that too. Like it's nice. It's a low barrier thing that we have going on here. Like it's very little we ask of movies because so many of them are so boring and so repetitive. Like that a movie that's like decent and has like good moments and is kind of sweet, that feels like this huge thing because so many movies just suck nowadays. The movie kind of made me feel like going forward, Ryan Reynolds is going to have to do Ryan Reynolds for people, and that's how he's going to get his movies made, that's how he's going to continue making money, and I have to accept that he's going to like talk in that annoying cadence and like mix swear words together with like sugary adjectives at the same time, or like his thing. But within that, he is still capable of helping make very good movies. Like obviously, it's not just that he's in the movie; he'll produce it. He probably has like uncredited like rewrites on it and stuff. Like he's very active participant in the creation of his stories. And I gotta give him props, and Shawn Levy props, and Zak Penn for the first time in over 20 years props. Everyone involved, I think, here brought something sweet and useful to the table. And the final product is really good. I think it's really fun. I feel like it would be an easier sell if this is on Disney Plus. I don't know that you really want to go out of your way to go to the theater to see it necessarily, but it is out tomorrow. And I think if you were thinking about seeing it, you 100% should. If you're on the fence, you 100% should. If you saw this and like got like a sort of insect revulsion feeling to the trailer, you still should maybe give it a chance, because that's how I felt when I saw the trailer. I was like, this movie. And I came out really happy that I saw it, and happy to talk about it, and happy that you all like tuning in to watch me talk about stuff. I really appreciate it. So yeah, those are my thoughts about Free Guy. Really pretty good movie. Surprisingly good movie for a movie about Ryan Reynolds playing a video game character. It's out tomorrow, and you should check it out, and thank you again for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you're not subscribed, subscribe, hit the little bell icon, you'll get notifications when I put out new videos. We got another video coming out tomorrow, I think, and then more later. And if you have any thoughts about Ryan Reynolds, crying at the movies, video games, whatever, talk to me in the comments below. I love talking to you all. It's one of my favorite things to do. Thank you for watching. Everyone's doing well, staying safe, being good to yourselves and each other. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.